Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Let's talk about Black Adam. What up, guys? Bobo here with BrassReel Brothers. Thanks for coming back to support Popcorns.
Subscribe!
Well, I saw Black Adam last night after waiting since 2007. And honestly, if it would have come out in like 2009 or 10, it would have been amazing. Everybody would have loved it. But the problem is with these movies today is that there's just so many of them. They've been done so much that there was just nothing new that we haven't seen yet in this. However, The Rock was awesome in it as Black Adam. So this is The Rock's biggest movie yet as far as the role, the marketing of it. I mean, yeah, he's had starring roles before, but this is definitely the biggest one yet. The visual effects were awesome. They definitely took time with the CG in this movie. They didn't cut any corners. And it was extremely entertaining. It was well paced. Like, I found myself really enjoying the film. But I can't say that at the end of it I was just like super blown away. Because like I said, we've seen so many of these movies since the sort of start of it, of Iron Man. I know that Iron Man wasn't the first. I'm just talking about the like big launch and boom of superhero films. Pretty much starting with the MCU. But the DCEU, they're still trying to cross it over and continue it and do their things with it. What we loved about the MCU stuff is it was just this ongoing story for so many movies. With the DCEU, they kind of try to tell a story and then they shift a gear a little bit before they really tell it. Then they try to go over here. They experiment too much before they flesh out their original vision. And in this movie, I feel like the entire time it was battling with itself. It didn't know if it wanted to be a really dark representation or have a family kid-friendly vibe to it. And it goes back and forth. Black Adam kills a ton of people. I mean, this has definitely got the biggest body count for sure. And the way he kills people is awesome. I mean, it's extremely gratifying in those ways. I even found myself, while I was watching it, being like, yeah, like saying it out loud. Yeah, I'm that guy in the theater. And the intro to the character of Black Adam was really good. The opening scene, all of it was really good. It was intriguing. I liked the story they were telling. One of the biggest complaints for me about this film, though, is that I'm tired of seeing all these team-up films. I wanted to see a Black Adam movie and really focus on this character of Black Adam. In my opinion, one of the reasons we cared about what was happening to Iron Man, Ant-Man, Captain America, all these people, Thor, Hulk, all these people that were involved with the Endgame fight, the reason we were caring about them is because we had seen full-on movies about them, not sharing the screen with other heroes. And in this movie, from the get-go, it's a team film about the JSA, or their movie interpretation of the JSA, because there's so many members, but it ain't the original JSA. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with JSA, the Justice Society, okay? That's what the JSA is. You got the Justice League, that's the JLA, but then the Justice Society is the JSA. It's kind of complicated, and there's all these sort of passing of the torch of different things, like the original Green Lantern, the original Flash, but we're not here to talk about that. What I'm saying is I wanted to see a Black Adam movie really about him. Now, Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan in this movie, for me kind of stole the show. He was awesome. I loved him the entire time. And in finally seeing Pierce Brosnan join this sort of comic book world of movies now, you see why he was famous in the first place. Every line he delivered was just awesome, whether it was funny, whether it was emotional, whether it was a little angry. Just Pierce belongs on the screen, and I'm glad that he's kind of in this big game now. But I would have just liked to seen a movie about maybe Black Adam and what's happening with him and Dr. Fate come in and help him. But instead, we get this Hawkman representation that wasn't my favorite, to be honest, and it just seemed like a regurgitation of Sam Wilson's Falcon from the MCU. And I mean, like, trying to pull from the way the character behaves and everything. I couldn't help but feel like it was a little bit of a ripoff. And I'm not talking about Hawkman being a ripoff. I'm talking about the way they portrayed Hawkman in this movie being a ripoff of the way they portray Sam Wilson in the MCU. But I liked the guy that played Hawkman. I liked the girl that played Cyclone, and I liked the guy that played Atom Smasher. But I just didn't really feel like that they were all that necessary to the movie. In fact, I felt like I would have had a little bit more of an attachment to what was going on if it would have focused more just on Black Adam and the Dr. Fate character, because Dr. Fate definitely needed to be in this movie. He was awesome. But so was The Rock, and so was a lot of other people. It was good. It was very entertaining, and my favorite thing about it is just how well paced it was. There were never any dull moments where you felt like this is dragging or running out of steam. I mean, it had a lot of awesome action scenes with Black Adam and all these other people. But it also doesn't try to cover too much ground as far as time is concerned. Everything that's happening sort of takes place once Black Adam is sort of released out of his tomb he's been in for thousands of years. And the movie really is just from that moment moving forward. It doesn't try to skip all these different times, and I hate it when movies start doing that, especially when you're getting introduced to a character. So I do like that you really do feel like you know Black Adam in this movie, or Teth Adam. You do have an attachment to him. I just could have done without all the additional characters. But they all did a good job, except for Atom Smasher's suit. What is this, a Party City costume? But this is a continuing story from the DCEU. This isn't just a standalone film. For example, Amanda Waller shows up in it, Viola Davis, and then the girl that plays Harcourt from The Peacemaker and from Suicide Squad, she shows up in it for a second. But the whole plot of the movie is based on how Black Adam got his powers from these wizards, which all possess the power of Shazam. There's even this huge Shazam scene. The main wizard that gives Billy Batson his powers in Shazam is in this movie as well, so there's definitely a huge connective thread. And remember, the villains in Shazam were like the 7 deadly sins come to life. And in this movie, the villain is Sabak, another henchman, demon type thing from Satan. But they even go all the way into like the depths of hell. And in this movie, it's based on this dark crown and witchcraft and Satanism, basically. It's not really Satanism. They refer to it as something else, but that's what it is, Satanism. And my buddy Clint, we talked about this on the podcast last night. He feels like that it might detour some people from taking their kids to it. Like he said it definitely would for him, just because of his ex-wife takes the kid to church and stuff like that. So I said earlier my biggest complaint was that they made it sort of a team-up movie. That's actually my biggest complaint. My biggest complaint is the little kid in the movie. I'm sorry. He was annoying and he just was unnecessary to the film, and it just was bad acting, bad delivery, everything. I'm not trying to be rude about the little kid. I'm sure you're an awesome dude. But it took me out of the movie. I did not like it. And that's what I'm saying. Some of the time they were being really dark with Black Adam and even what he was doing. I mean, he straight up says in the movie, yeah, I kill people. But then when they shift over to this kid, it just becomes too family friendly, and it's too much of a departure from each other while you're watching the same movie. But I do think it's really entertaining. I do think that it was very well paced. Visually, it was awesome. It had a little something to say with some social commentary in there, which I liked. It wasn't shoving it in your face. It was actually really well done. Oh, and I got to talk about the scene where Black Adam is fighting in this kid's room and they just bash all this DC memorabilia, posters, toys, pictures, pop culture, anything DC. They are totally smashing it. And I couldn't help but wonder if that was some sort of a representation of them moving forward with the new DC. Overall, I definitely recommend going to see this movie in the theater because it is visually awesome and you'll enjoy the ride. It's entertaining, it's well paced. I just have seen so much of these now. It just doesn't seem like anything that much different. So I give Black Adam a B. Not that it was a B movie, that's the grade I give it, because it just seems like kind of another superhero movie. But I loved everybody in it and I loved watching it. I will own it, add it to the collection, and it's definitely better than some of the other DC installments. Well, that'll do it for this review, guys. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and hit that like button if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you can help us make it to the top. And as always, if life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorns.